weather was looking grim. Then at 10:50, the sun came out, the wind dropped, people started arriving out of nowhere, the BBC crew got busy with their interviewing, county press reporter was in attendance, and we actually had a great launch meeting. So the environment was on our side. It was just testing us. The Don't Drill the Wight campaign was the lead article on BBC South Today that evening. And we got actually a great article, a great write-up in the county press. It was a decent article, it was fair, balanced, some good pictures, and quite a bit of exposure. And most of all, people were generous with donations. They took garden stakes, they took leaflets to distribute in their local area, along with various other car stickers and bits and pieces that we've accumulated over the years. So 2 weeks on, what's happened? So I'm pleased to be able to stand here this morning and report that there are now 507 objections registered on the council portal. And 32 supporting comments. And that hasn't really moved. I just want to talk a little bit about numbers, because if some of you are independently looking at the council planning portal, their numbers are all over the place. They only attribute a category of support or object to comments that people submit online. All the ones that they receive by email or by post, which are manually scanned and displayed on the portal, for some reason they're not categorising them. So the picture that you see on the council is only a fraction of the actual picture. What we're doing, our behind the scenes guy, John, with the hat there, he's actually downloading them every day, looking at each one, individually categorising, knocking out the duplicates because there are some that appear twice, and giving, as accurate as we can be, a running total every day. So you can have confidence in those numbers. If we're 1 or 2 out, that's a human error, but we're not out by a factor of hundreds, which is the case on the council site. So, moving on. Just in case you didn't know, there was an Arreton Parish Council special meeting this week on Monday. They had a Zoom meeting to discuss the planning application. In normal times, that would have been a packed parish hall, hundreds of people there, everybody participating in the discussion. These days, it was a Zoom meeting with 10 people. But I'm pleased to report that the outcome was a unanimous decision by all the councillors of Arreton Parish to draft an objection statement opposing the application on multiple grounds.
Yes.
Some of those grounds will include things like traffic, road safety, drainage from the site, wildlife and habitat, potential for pollution from accidents and leaks, and concerns over the long-term effects that may emerge after a well site is abandoned. It's a great result, moving from something like 30 objections to over 500, but it's only a start. We still have much more to do. We need more objections. If you talk to the planning officers technically, they would say that quality is what counts. Substance, evidence is weighs more strongly with them than people's opinions. But ultimately this will go to a planning committee made up of elected councillors. If you have a big number of engagements from the community, that opinion is hard to ignore. So we really need the council to sense what the people's opinion is on this. And we can really only do that by numbers. When you are writing objections, if you haven't written your objection yet, by all means include some opinions and some passion. And there are indeed many heartfelt and passionate pleas for this application to be refused in order to safeguard the landscape, wildlife, water, but many are not supported by material facts. So we've put lists on the Facebook page and even on the council's old planning portal. There are lists of what counts as material facts, and if you're interested in wildlife maybe, why not get some figures? Go and have a look and see how bird populations have diminished and you know, the value of hedgerows for sheltering birds in storms, something like that. I'm just throwing out some ideas here. And actually, you know, reference some studies that have been done to support your viewpoint that it's bad for wildlife. Or if you've got another topic that you're particularly passionate about, research that, back up your objection with some evidence and reference it to some credible sources. Because the more solid you make your objection, the more weight they have to give it in the planning process. It's worth looking to see objections that people have already submitted. And there are some really insightful posts. Particularly, I would draw your attention to one submitted by a gentleman called Mark Leyland. I think he's the first objection listed on the 7th or 8th of July. He's a retired oil company engineer, and he details exactly the real-world working practices of these types of operations, and it's quite scary. And it definitely makes it's a worthwhile 5 minutes, especially if you want having a discussion with somebody and you're struggling to articulate your concerns. This is a really good document to refer to. The good news just let this horse go past. The good news is that you get more than one opportunity. If you or somebody you know sent in an objection that was maybe a bit trigger happy, and my favourite ones are one-word objections. A woman from Glasgow who submitted an objection that said, "Object!" That's it. That's the only word on the objection. And there was another one from the island where someone had just put, "No." That is great to see, but it's not actually a qualifying objection in planning terms. The good news is you can go again. There's no limit. You know, if you put in you put in an objection and you thought, "Damn, I didn't mention this that I really wanted to put another one in." You can put in a second objection or a third one. There is no limit. You just say, in addition to my, and reference the first one, you know, I'd like to add on X, Y, Z. You can go again. And just to remember from last week, there's no household limit. So if you've got 4 people living in a house and they've all got strong opinions and maybe different angles that they're worried about, put one in individually. They're not totaled up by household. There is no age restrictions. And in fact, there was a post on the UCOG shareholders forum saying people on the Isle of Wight are manipulating the system by getting their children to submit objections. Well, it's their children that will have to live with the consequences for longer.
Absolutely.
So it's really important that we engage with that younger audience. And actually on that point, I'd like to introduce this little gang here who set up independently of our own operations. All of a sudden on Instagram, a self-generated group popped up called Isle of Wight Protection, or IOW Protection, posting about exactly the same sort of stuff that we've been posting about. And actually it just made sense for us to collaborate with them. So we've given them some t-shirts, we've given them some leaflets, we've given them lots of support. We're sharing information where we can. And they have been very effective on Instagram at engaging with an audience that we've really struggled to reach. So thank you very much, guys. Keep doing it. Yes. So what have we been doing in the last 2 weeks? We've represented the Don't Drill the Wight campaign at the Arraton Parish Council meeting. We've been out delivering leaflets door to door, Merstone, Rookley, Arraton, God's Hill, Station Road, Wootton, and many other places. We have more leaflets here. John here is the leaflet guru. John, he's out, he's done a lot of miles delivering leaflets and he's got stacks here. So if any of you have got a bit of enthusiasm that you'd like to do your road or an area you think would be very effective, check with John. If we haven't already done it, come and get some leaflets and start to make an impact. We have designed and printed a new A4 flyer. We've got several of them here. So these can be used for a number of purposes. They can be used as handouts if you want to stand in the high street. They can be used as leaflets through people's doors if we run out of the more detailed ones. They can go under car windscreen wipers. They can be laminated and nailed to garden fences. Just do with them what you want. But if you take stuff, please use it. Our funds are limited and we need to make sure that stuff is used effectively. But we've got 2,500 of these. They're not all here today, but we've got a decent quantity. So if you want to take a handful and start sprinkling them around your area, please do. We've been operating multiple social media channels with varying levels of success. Facebook and Twitter is really what we've been concentrating on, leaving Instagram to people that understand it better. I don't know, when I touch the screen it does weird things and I'm not expecting, so I tend to steer clear of Instagram. But between our Don't Drill the Wight website, Facebook, Twitter, these guys on Instagram, the social media campaigns are really having an effect. We've been dealing with inquiries and requests for garden stakes, for leaflets. We've added to the range of t-shirts available. As you can see, being modelled by my good self and somewhat better modelled by these guys down here. We've got a variety of, we've got this in grey and in black. And we've got some kids designs. So there's a link on our Don't Drill the Wight website if you'd like some campaign t-shirts. They've been selling reasonably well, but we could always do with more. We've got a GoFundMe account, which we set up just a couple of weeks ago. Thank you very much to people that have donated. We've had over £400 donated by members of the public to support this cause. That really makes a difference when it comes to getting material printed and paying for advertising online. And we're now been working on how to promote the message with radio, TV, collaborating with other groups. The Green Party has a walk tomorrow. I don't know how many people you got signed up to that, Vix?
Quite a few.
Yeah. What's the details for that?
11 at Shide Car Park.
So 11 at Shide Car Park. It's a kind of picnic afternoon, isn't it? That's the plan?
Yeah, it's a walk, it's exploring the sunshine, yeah.
So, what needs to be done in the next 2 weeks? We want to get well in excess of 1,000 objections recorded. We need a high percentage of good quality objections related to material facts. How can you help? The analytics show us that social media is the most effective tool for spreading the word. So you've all got, I imagine, smartphones, computers, laptops, tablets. Visit our sites, follow them, share, tweet, retweet, make people aware by your own social media posts or comments. Really, really important. That is having a phenomenal reach. I put a post up about the traffic route that the HGVs would take to and from the proposed site. Within about 2 days it got 11,000 impressions. We're never going to reach that many people with leaflets. We really got to work the social media channels to boost awareness. And give us content. That's really important. The thing about social media channels is they're hungry for content. If you've got photographs, if you run a business and you think it might be adversely impacted by this, give us some figures, lend some weight to the campaign. If you've got a t-shirt or a garden sign, take a photograph of it up outside your house. You don't have to identify the address, but or yourself standing somewhere, iconic on the island with a t-shirt. Take a picture, send it to us so that we can keep feeding our social media channels, because that really grabs people's attention. A picture is worth 1,000 words, and that is so true. Let us know if you have media contacts. If anybody knows anybody, radio, TV, bloggers, come and talk to us please now. Help us deliver leaflets in targeted areas, distribute flyers, and talk to real people. When you're out and about, talk to people, say, hey, did you know about this? Keep spreading the word, don't let up. We get one shot at this. We really have to slam the door on this application. Historically, if you look at all the other places where UCOG have applied, and they've got in, the residents are then fighting a rearguard action for the next 20 years. Because once they've done exploration, they then want appraisal, they then want production, you get permission creep. Once they've got permission to flatten a field and create a well pad, if they want to extend it, they can then say it's just developing a brownfield site. All the damage is done on the first time they get a hole in the ground. So it's really important that we are effectively opposing this application. We can't let this happen. The message is simple. Don't drill the Wight. Get those objections in. We've got 13 days left. So that's it, guys, for the kind of formal address. Thank you very much for your time. We've got people scattered about here that would love to hear from you. John, leaflets, Vic's, any sort of campaigning ideas maybe. We've got a table up there with bits and pieces. We've got donation bucket. We've got a few garden stakes left. We've got the A4 flyers. So come and engage with us. Give us your ideas. Give us your enthusiasm. Thanks for your support.